Good morning, my brothers and sisters. For those of you who do not yet know, on Thursday evening after sunset, I went outside to take care of a hornet's nest that had been built under my woodpile. Well, as I was doing just that, there must have been a rogue hornet who had not yet come back to the nest after the day's work. He landed on my right wrist and he stung me. It hurt, just like any other sting that I had received in the past, and I thought nothing of it at all until about 15 to 20 minutes later when I went into anaphylactic shock in the living room of my house, right there in the midst of my family. They tell me I lost consciousness for about 45 minutes to an hour, and I have no recollection from that time period at all. Through stories from my family, they were there praying me through it, doing what they needed to do until the EMTs got there. Eventually, they got me on the ambulance. And the next thing that I remember was slowly waking up in the ER. And at first, I was alert and responsive, but I had no real control of my thoughts. I couldn't put sentences together. I had a hard time focusing on anything. My eyes were darting all over the place when I had my eyes open at all. But slowly, I began to recover to the point where on Friday afternoon, thank God, I was discharged from the hospital. I do know that it was very much touch and go, and my family was right there for the whole ordeal. So I'd like to take a moment to thank a couple of groups of people. Number one, I'd like to thank the EMTs. I'd like to thank the doctors and the nurses at Lehigh Valley Health Network. These folks did a tremendous job in keeping me alive. I'd like to thank my family who had to go through that whole thing, witnessing it, but the stories that have come from it have been heartening, how they banded together, praying, seeking God's face, doing what needed to be done. Please continue to keep them in prayer because they are still processing all of this as well. I would like to thank God for deciding to give me some more time. And when I think about it, he's not done with me yet. And if he is not done with me yet, it also means he is not done with you. And I look forward to getting back into the groove here sooner rather than later, seeking God's face together with Emmanuel Assembly of God, seeking out his will and his plan. And last but not least, I'd like to thank you, all of you who, when the news came out, for praying for me and for my family. May God bless you, and I look forward to seeing you next Sunday, if not sooner.